Hello and welcome to 2021. We did it. I just wanted to do a quick obligatory video about my 2021 reading goals. The first goal, as always, is the Goodreads number, the number of books that you want to read in a year. And this year I'm going to set mine at 50. It's the same as what I did last year. In 2020 I read 102 books, and while that 100 number is magical and wonderful and so round and nice, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on myself. So I'm going to set it at 50, which, like, when you think about it, is still a stupid number of books to read, like way more than the average person reads. So I'm going to set it at 50. My second goal is to finish my 2020 must read. This is something I did last year. I had a list of 7 books that I had to read by the end of 2020, or I had to unhaul them or officially take them off of my TBR. I read 5 of them. There were 2 that I did not finish. They are Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman and A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. Ironically, both sci-fi sequels. I don't know what that says about me. Don't read into it. I just didn't prioritize these books very well, and when it came to like December, I just super wasn't in the mood for them. So for sure this year, I am prioritizing these books. They will definitely get read in 2021. My third goal is a 2021 must-read list. I only put 5 on it this year. These are books that have been on my TBR for a really long time, so I just have to commit and get them read, or admit it to myself that I'm never actually going to read them. The first is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I have no idea how to say it. I'm really sorry. Second is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Third is Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. Fourth is Becoming by Michelle Obama. And the last one is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. This one I had actually started in 2020 and just couldn't get into it. My fourth goal is to prioritize reading diversely. I feel like I prioritize it for a little bit and then it falls off, and then I remember and I read really diversely again, so I just want to prioritize it. My fifth goal is to read The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know why I looked. I know who wrote this. I have started and stopped this book probably half a dozen times in my life. I get so bored. I always get to the part with Tom Bombadil and he just won't stop talking, and I have to quit. I am a huge fan of the Peter Jackson films. They came out at a really formative time for me, and I can quote them all. I think the problem is just because I know the movie so well, and it's a really good adaptation of this, they took all of the best parts, and there's a bunch of boring nonsense. Not nonsense. I do want to read it. There's a bunch in here that I know is good, and so I'm going to give myself the whole year to read it. So even if it takes me a month to get past Tom Bombadil, I can still do it. Normally I really care about my monthly stats, but this one I'm gonna let break that rule. My sixth goal is to do all of the monthly buzzwords for the Buzzword Readathon. Is this just turning into a Kayla Stan channel? Yes, it is, but I am okay with that. I will link her video in the description and also the Goodreads group. There's a buzzword picked every month and you read a book with that word in the title. The one for January is Dream, so I already have a couple books lined up for that. Number 7 is something that I just came up with. I wanted to have some kind of monthly challenge for myself that still gave a lot of freedom for my mood reading. And so what I've decided is to read a book published in the current month, but not the current year. So basically how this is gonna work is in January, I just have to read a book that was published in any January. Except probably the current year. I don't often buy books right when they come out. I will get them from the library as soon as I can, but then you're contending with wait lists and I don't want to put pressure on it. My top contender right now is An Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen, which came out in January of 2019. I'm hoping that this one will work out. I'm really excited about it because I think that you forget about a lot of the old releases, and so to make them feel like they're a brand new release in this month, I think it'll be good. My 8th goal is to read books that I like. This is probably a dumb goal, but I'm going with it. That is to say, I don't like fantasy. I've realized I've read enough fantasy, I think, at this point to know that the majority of it I just don't like. There is some fantasy for sure that I do like, but I'm going to be more specific with what I'm picking and not just picking whatever is popular on BookTube at the moment. I just want to make sure that my reading is still fun, and I feel like formalizing that will kind of force me to take it seriously. My 9th goal is to go easy on the book buying. This is always a little bit of a tough one, but I don't want to get dragged down into the BookTube consumerism, and I do get a lot of my books from the library, so I will definitely keep that up. I just want to make sure that I take it easy on the impulse buys especially. And my final goal is to reread. I don't reread basically at all. There was one book I reread in 2019 for a book club. My book club picked a book that I had already read, so I reread it for that. I think that's basically the only time I've reread, other than like children's books that I'm now reading as an adult. There are a couple of books specifically that I want to reread in anticipation of the Heart Principle. I want to reread the other Helen Hoang books, The Kiss Quotient and The Bride Test. Her new book comes out, I think, in August right now. The other book that I'd like to reread is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in anticipation of Malibu Rising, which I think is coming out in May. I've heard that the main character in Malibu Rising is one of the 7 husbands. That might just be a rumor. Regardless, I love this book very much, and I feel like it's time for a reread. And that's it. Those are my 10 goals for reading in 2021. Thank you for watching, and I am going to go read an actual book right now. Bye.